Dr. R. Hemavati is an assistant professor in mathematics in Queen Mary's, Chennai. She has specialized on functional analysis. Having 12 years of experience in teaching, she has won various awards for her performance. She has published papers in 14 international journals, 3 national journals, and has presented papers in 10 international and in 5 national conferences. She is also one of the editors for an international journal.
Welcome to UGC lecture series. In the previous sessions, we discussed about analysis of time series, various components of time series, and index numbers. There are 4 types of index numbers: price index numbers, quantity index numbers, value based index number, and chain based index numbers. In continuation about the topic of types of index numbers, we have already discussed how to compute price index numbers, quantity index numbers by various methods like Marshall's Edgeworth method, Fisher's Ideal method, etc. Also, we discussed about computing value index numbers. In this session, we are going to talk about chain based index number and cost of living index number, also called consumer price index numbers, along with some illustrations. The formula recall is important because we need these 2 formulae for computing chain based index number in the next slide. So, chain based index number formula is given by average link relative of current year into preceding year chain based index divided by 2. And the current year fixed base index number can be computed using current year chain based index. So, current year fixed base index is equal to current year chain based index into previous year fixed base index divided by 100. Now, this is an example how chain based index numbers are calculated with 1 year as base year. So, compute the chain based index numbers with 2006 prices as base, that is the year 2006 price has been given as the base year from the following table, giving the average wholesale prices of the commodities A, B and C for the years from 2006 to 2010. So, various commodity values and the years, the price of each commodity has been given. Rupees 20 is the commodity price of commodity A in the year 2006, and 2006 has been taken as the base year, and you have to calculate the chain based index numbers. When 2006 is fixed as base, the chain based indexes are calculated by fixing 2006 values as 100. So, for the commodity A, B and C, 2006 year values, chain based index values are fixed as 100. Therefore, it is fixed as 100, 100, 100 for A, B, C respectively. For the year 2007, the value is calculated as current year value is 16 and previous year 2006 value is 20. So, current by previous one into 100 gives you the link relative for the year 2007, which is equal to 80. Similarly, for the year 2008, 28 by 16 into 100. 28 is the current value, 16 is the previous year value for 2007 value into 100 gives you 175. Likewise, the values for 2007 is calculated for the commodity B, and the values for 2007 is calculated for the commodity C. Likewise, all the values are calculated up to 2010. Then total of the link relatives, that is 80 plus 120 plus 125 gives you 325, and similarly the total here comes to be equal to 300. Likewise, for the year 2008, 2009 and 2010. The total is calculated. Then average of relatives 300 is obtained by adding 3 values, therefore 300 by 3 gives you 100, and 325 is also obtained by adding 3 values, that is 80 plus 120 plus 125. So 325 divided by 3 gives you 108.33. Likewise the values are calculated. Now the relatives are calculated so far, and the chain based index is now calculated as the current year link relative. Current year link relative is 108.33, and the previous year chain based index is 100. 100 is always fixed. So 100 into 108.33 divided by 100 is equal to 108.33. The values are calculated like this. So 108.33 into 100 divided by 100 is equal to 108.33, the first value itself. Now for the third value, 108.33 is the previous year chain based index, and current year link relative is 125 divided by 100, which is equal to 135.41. Similarly, the value here is 135.41 into 118.33 divided by 100 is 160.33. Next value is 160.23 into 103.33 by 100 is 165.57. Now we have calculated chain indices. For the year 2006 is 100, for the year 2007 is 108.33, and likewise we have calculated the values for the year 2008 as 135.41, 160.23 and 165.57. Now we have studied 4 types of index numbers, that is price index numbers, quantity index numbers, value index numbers, and then chain based index numbers. After studying these 4 index numbers, the next in line we have to study about cost of living index number. It is also called consumer price index number, because the consumer is paying the cost, therefore it is called consumer price index numbers. The consumer price index, also known as cost of living index numbers, index is the country's principal measure of price change. This is very important. Consequently, the consumer price index numbers are designed to measure the average change in the prices paid by the ultimate consumer for a specific quantities of goods and services over a period of time. The consumer price index number is useful in the following ways. That is, it helps the government in formulating wage policy, price policy, taxation and general economic policies. Because whenever there is a price increase, we have to keep in mind the consumer's price index. So when consumer price index number is taken into account before any kind of price change, there won't be any problem when the government formulates these kind of policies like wage policy, price policy, etc. So the salaries and wages are fixed on the basis of consumer price index. So it is very useful in revising the wage or dearness allowance for the people in the country. Also, it is useful to measure the changes in purchasing power of currency or real income, etc. For example, the market price for a particular kind of goods and services are analyzed by consumer price index. Among the utilities of consumer price index, there are also some limitations for the cost of living index number. That is, consumer price index numbers are only approximate indicators, they are not exact. It does not tell us anything about variations in the standard of living at 2 different places. That is, the consumer price index numbers which are good for one purpose may be unsuitable for the other purpose. Also, the price index numbers are based on sample data. So, it does not reflect the exact change in the price level, it is only approximate. So, index numbers can be manipulated in such a manner so as to draw the desired conclusion. It does not take into account the changes in qualities of commodities. that we will be studying the statistical quality control later. So, it does not take into account the qualities of commodities over a period of time. That is very important. Quality has to be considered. So, that is one of the limitation for consumer price index number. Okay. This following example shows you how the cost of living index number or consumer price index number is calculated when a data is given. So, the data is divided into 5 groups are food, fuel and lighting, clothing, house rent and miscellaneous. The weights of the food is 47 kilograms, means its group index number is given to be equal to 247, and for fuel and lighting the weight is 7 kg, means the group index number is 293, group index number has been given. So, clothing 8 means index number is 289, like that the values are given and we have to calculate the cost of living index number from the following data. According to the cost of living index number, the formula is summation IW, that is group index number into weight divided by summation W. So, cost of living index number is given by the formula summation IW by summation W. So, weights are represented by W and group index number are represented by I. Therefore, we have to calculate IW. IW is 247 into 47 is equal to 11609. 293 into 7 is 2051. Likewise, the values are calculated and summation IW is the totality of 11609 plus 2051 plus 2312 plus 1300 plus 3304, it is 20576, and summation W is the total of the weights is 89. So, equal to 20576 divided by summation W is 89 and the value is 231.19. So, the cost of living index is 231.19. Methods for constructing consumer price index. Consumer price index is always a weighted index. Actually, we have discussed in the previous sessions, there are 2 types of index numbers called weighted index numbers and unweighted index numbers. So, consumer price index falls into the category of weighted index because the relative importance of various items for different classes of people is not the same. So, we have to give the weight for each commodity and then make it almost equivalent for different classes of people. So, index weights are derived from family budget enquiries. Methods for constructing consumer price index number. Consumer price index may be constructed by any of the following 2 methods, that is aggregate expenditure method or aggregative method or family budget method or method of weighted relatives. Now, what does the aggregate expenditure method says? The quantities of commodities consumed by a particular group in the base year are taken as weights, and this method is based on the last payers method, which we have used for calculating price index numbers and quantity index numbers. So, last payers method is best applied for calculating the consumer price index by aggregate expenditure method. Aggregate expenditure method, the formula is summation P1 Q naught by summation P naught Q naught into 100, where P1, P naught, Q naught are in the usual notations. That is, P naught is the price of commodity in base year, P1 is the price of commodity in current year, and Q naught is quantity consumed in the base year. Now, after studying about aggregate expenditure method, the next method is a family budget method for calculating consumer price index. This method is same as the weighted average of price relatives. In this case, the aggregate expenditure of an average family on various items is estimated. This constitute the weights. We apply the following formula. Consumer price index is equal to summation PV by summation V into 100, where P is equal to P1 by P0 into 100 and V is the value or weight, value weights. V is equal to value weights and it is equal to P0 Q0. Now, index numbers are used in various purposes, that is for household and for industrial. Now, let us see how index number for industrial production is taken into account, that is index number of industrial production. The index number of industrial production helps us to know the increase or decrease in the level of industrial production in a given period. This index number measures the changes in quantum of production. To prepare such an index, it is necessary for us to compute the production for 2 periods, that is we have to take into account the current year production and the base year production. Generally, the data are collected under these heads, that is mining industries. Mining industries are iron ore industries, coal industries, copper industries and petroleum industries. They all come under the category of mining industries. So, when the data is collected for iron ore or coal, it will be put into the heading of mining industries. Next, textile industries, cotton industry, woolen and silk etc. comes under the heading of textile industries. Then metallurgical industries, iron and steel industries are comes into account of metallurgical industries. Then locomotives, ships, aeroplane etc. comes under mechanical industries. Miscellaneous are glass, soap, chemical, cement etc. The output for various industries are computed. Weights are assigned to various industries on the basis of certain criteria such as capital invested, turnover, net output, production etc. The formula applied for industrial production index number is equal to summation IW by summation W, where I is equal to Q1 by Q0 and W is relative importance of various outputs. So, index number for industrial production is summation IW by summation W, where I is equal to Q1 by Q0 and W is equal to relative importance of various outputs. Now, we have seen 2 types of index numbers at present, that is consumer price index numbers and index number of industrial production. When we talk about consumer price index number, we take into account the prices. For example, for family budget method, we have taken into account summation PV by summation V into 100, where P is P1 by P0 into 100. Whereas, when we talk about index number of industrial production, it is summation IW by summation W, where I is equal to quantities Q1 by Q0. Prepare the consumer price index for the year 2006 on the basis of 2005 from the following data by both methods, that is aggregate expenditure method as well as family budget method. Also show that consumer price index is same for both the methods. That is when you talk about the commodities A, B, C, D, E, F like food, clothing, house rent etc. quantities consumed in the year 2005, that is these are Q0 values and these are P0 values and these are P1 values. Quantities consumed in the year 2005 for the commodity A is 6 and the price in the year 2005 for the commodity A is 5.75. So, and the price of the same commodity in the year 2006 is 6 rupees. Like that the values are given, we have to compute the price index numbers, consumer price index number by aggregate expenditure method. Okay. The aggregate expenditure method, the tabular column is formed with the Q0, P0, P1 values given in the question. then P1 into Q naught is P1 is 6 and Q naught is 6. So, 6 into 6 is 36 and P naught into Q naught is 5.75 into 6. 5.75 into 6 is equal to 34.5. Likewise, the values are calculated. Similarly, P1 Q naught is 8 into 6 is 48 and P naught Q naught is 5 into 6 is 30. Okay. And their summations, respective summations, summation P1 Q naught is equal to 174 and summation P naught Q naught is equal to 146.5. Okay. With this, we proceed to calculate the consumer price index is equal to summation by aggregate expenditure method, summation P1 Q naught by summation P naught Q naught into 100 is equal to 174 by 146.5 into 100 is equal to, the answer is 118.77. This is a consumer price index by aggregative expenditure method. Next, consumer price index by family budget method. Again, the values are calculated in this format, that is Q naught, P naught, P1 values are written. Then we calculate I is equal to P1 by P naught into 100. That is, if you take 104.34, that is this value 104.34 is 6 divided by 5.75 into 100. Okay. So, this value is 6 by 5.75 into 100. It is almost like price relatives, current divided by a previous one into 100. So, it is a relative value. Then value is calculated, V is equal to P naught Q naught, that is 5.75 into 6 gives you 34.5. Then I into V, I into V is 104.34 into 34.5 is 3600. Likewise, the values are calculated. Similarly, when you talk about the commodity B, it is 8 by 5 into 100 is I value and P naught Q naught is 5 into 6 is 30. Then IV value is 160 into 30 is 4800. Likewise, summation V is the totality of V values starting from 34.5 plus 30 plus etc. up to 20 gives you value 146.5, and summation IV is the totality of this particular column 3600 plus 4800 up to 1500, the value is 17400. Okay. The consumer price index is calculated as a summation IV by summation V, okay, which is equal to 17400 divided by 146.5, which is equal to again 118.77. So, we have calculated consumer price index by aggregate expenditure method, and we have also got the value as 118.77, and we have calculated consumer price index by family budget method, and this value is also 118.77. So, both the methods gives you the same answer for consumer price index number. So far we discussed about time series, index numbers, etc. In this particular session, we talked about chain based index numbers and cost of living index numbers. Also, we have done some illustrations in calculating chain based index number using linked relatives, and also we have done an illustration in calculating the cost of living index number, that is consumer price index number, using aggregate expenditure method and family budget method. Utility and limitations of cost of living index number were also discussed. Based on the discussion in this session, the following question may be posed. Compute chain index number with 2008 as base year, and from the following table giving the average wholesale prices of the commodities A, B, C and D, for the years starting from 2008 to 2012. So, the average wholesale price for the commodity A, B, C, D in the year 2008 are 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 40 rupees, 50 rupees, like that it is given. And similarly, in the year 2009 for all the 4 commodities the values have been given, and for 2012 the 4 values have been given. So, we have to compute a chain based index numbers. Thank you.